I'll be talking about Layla's weapon options because she'll be debuting in a few days for 3.2 Phase 2. So yeah, we're moving forward. So on the screen I have Ayaka, of course, because she's just a cryo sword user, just as a placeholder, but we'll be really talking about the sword options that we already have. So Layla being a 4-star cryo shield character, she will likely be scaling off of HP. So there are currently no HP swords that are significantly great for her, except for, of course, there are 5-star options. But I mean, when I say significantly great, I mean because she's a 4-star character, and not everyone's going to give her a 5-star sword, obviously. But I want to point out that the Jade Cutter, which was on the previous or most recent weapon banner before the current one, was a great option for Nilu. But it's also a great option for Layla because, as you can see in the passive, it's an HP increase, which is great because the Jade Cutter is a very universal sword and it's beautiful after all. It gives her a great crit rate, and you just need to build her for crit damage if you want to make her a DPS unit. Now, having said that, she is likely going to be a support shield character. You would proc her shield and then swap her out so that the next character will get her shield or whatnot. But yeah, I do have an extra Jade Cutter, as you know, from my polls. I did not spend money on this, but I do have an extra one, and I'm just going to give it to her as a placeholder. Okay, the other sword, surprisingly, it's also from the Nilu banner, is the Key of Kaj Nisut. I don't have that sword because I did not pull too much on that banner, and I didn't get it, of course. I didn't set my path for that either, hence I got the Jade Cutter instead. I didn't pull for Nilu, as you guys know, so I don't have it. But regardless, that sword is specifically for Nilu, and Nilu is an HP scaling unit. So Layla also is HP scaling unit, so it would be perfect for her too. Again, I go back to she being a 4-star unit, unless you have no other shielder, such as Zhongli, a 5-star unit. I don't know that you want to kit her out with a 5-star sword, but if you really love her, sure, go for it. So now I want to talk about another 5-star sword option that may not be the best for her, but is an option that is for her. I don't own it, but it is the Summit Shaper, which is supposedly was supposed to be Albedo's signature 5-star weapon, which it's not really, because obviously Albedo has a great 4-star option. Um, but anyway, if you happen to have the Summit Shaper, which was not a very popular sword, that one increases your shield because it's actually, I'm just going to quickly swap over to here, because it's from the same series as the Unforged and the Memory of Dust, the Geo series. It has the increasing shield strength passive, so of course that will be useful for Layla. Of course, the attack percentage subset will not be useful for her, but just so you know, like that is a great option too. And those are the 5-star unit options that are good for her, but I would not recommend getting her any 5-star swords, to be very honest, because she's just a 4-star unit that you may not use anymore in the future. It depends, right? To each their own. Now, onto the 4-star unit options. So, the Amanoma Kageuchi is a very great sword. It's free. You can just get this from playing the game and from collecting the items and exchanging for them. So this one is great because after you cast elemental skill, you gain the passive and the buff and all that stuff. So this is not a bad sword, and it looks really pretty as well. So this is my recommendation to give to her. Okay, other options would be the sacrificial because this allows her to proc her skill twice. However, from what we've seen so far, when she procs it and she's Sleeping Beauty in that little shell of hers, it lasts pretty long, so I don't know that you need to proc it twice, but this is an option, right, So for proccing the skill twice, and you get the energy recharge buff as well for the substat, which is not bad, right? Now, for those of you who are older players like myself, if you have the Festering Desire, this is not a bad option because obviously once you proc her elemental skill, then her elemental skill's crit rate would go up because she has those shooting stars that shoot out from her Sleeping Beauty shield, right? But I don't know that many newer players will have this weapon because this was a limited event weapon from way back 1.2, and we're at 3.2 already. So not many players will have this, but I'm just putting it out there. The Zephos Moonlight, this was a limited series Sumeru weapon that happened last time with the Nilu banner. And this is not recommended for her, but it's a good option as a placeholder. Now, the reason why is because I don't think you're going to build her for Elemental Mastery, but if you were to build her for Elemental Mastery, then you would get the passive as well, which is okay, right, for the energy. You would get the you would build her for elemental mastery, but you would have to build her for energy recharge as well, to make sure that she can proc her burst more often. Yeah, so regardless, you would want to do that. But my purpose is that I would focus her on energy recharge more than elemental mastery. So that's why I wouldn't recommend that for her. If you are somehow building her for like DPS, of course, there's a Black Sword and Black Cliff, but I don't think many players will be using her that way, but hard to say, right? Another option that's free in the game is the Iron Sting. Again, this is for Elemental Mastery build. Again, I don't think that that's going to be her playstyle, to be very honest. And of course, we have the Favonius Sword. It will be on the coming weapon banner as well. And this is great as long as you build enough crit for her so that she can get the passive and then give energy to the team and to herself. If you happen to have like the flute and all these, I would recommend just skipping these weapons because I don't think these are recommended. The prototype Rancor, again, I would skip that, and the Aquila I would skip as well. Again, back to the 5-star side, if you have a Skyward Blade and extra one sitting around, this would work well for her probably because then the energy recharge you can use. And then Freedom Sworn, again, it's another EM sword, so I would skip it as well. And I don't think that she's going to be super heavy on the crit side, so I would skip the Mist Splitter and the Haran as well. So again, just to summarize, her best weapons are actually 5-star weapons, which I don't recommend giving her, but if you have extra ones, give it to her then. So the Key of Nakash Nusut is probably her best, and then followed by the Primordial Jade Cutter, and also the Summit Shaper, right? And then for the 4-star side, I would recommend the Amanoma Kageuchi, which I would give to her, actually. I would just take it off of my MC character and just give it to her because I'm not using my MC character anyway. I think this is a great option. It's free, and she can make use of the passive. It won't be her best, obviously, but it's something. The other option, again, I do have the Festering Desire, so I could give that to her as well and take it off of Kaya here, and that's totally fine. And then if I wanted to go the EM route, I do have the Zephos and the Iron Sting as well. And so those are my options. So I would skip the crit build. I'm not doing a crit build for her, so I would skip that. And I wouldn't give her the Favonius, but I could, I guess, because this would at least give everyone else in the team some, energy. But I would have to build her for crit then. So then I'm just trying to keep it easy for myself so I don't have to build it. So anyway, those are my thoughts on Layla's options. What do you guys think? What weapon are you going to give her? Or are you guys even going to pull for her, or are you going to skip her? Let me know in the comments below and stay tuned for more from me. And I will see you guys in the